Okay, friends, before we go any further with any future transits as they appear, I want to look at this year at a glance so that we can harness the energy of what's to come and prepare ourselves so that we can really take advantage, full advantage of this renovation, if you will, that this year is bringing us. I need you to really hear me right now. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb and let's get into the bones of this thing. We are standing on the edge at the very beginning of 2026. And I'm not going to be the friend that's not going to tell you the truth. This year is a massive psychological threshold. It's not a year for the top 10 manifestation tips. No, this is no gimmick here. It's a year that demands you grow up. Look at your shadows in the eye and decide what actually matters when the world gets noisy. We are not just looking at weather in the stars. We're looking at a fundamental dismantling of scripts we've been reading from for decades. This isn't a crisis, it's a passage. And the only way through is with a heavy dose of radical honesty and the kind of maturity that doesn't need a gold star from an external authority. This year's grand theme is the sovereign architecture of integrity. We're going to begin with the slow erosion of Pluto in Aquarius, the death of the expert. So Pluto has been settling in Aquarius for a little bit now, and honey, it's not leaving until 2044. This is the grand dismantling. Historically, when the planet of death and rebirth, which is Pluto, hits the sign of the collective, which is Aquarius, institutions don't just explode, they lose their flavor altogether. They stop feeling real. You're going to notice a quiet creeping doubt. That fancy degree, that corporate title, or that political ideology you used to wear like armor. Yeah, it's starting to feel like a costume. This is a massive identity crisis at scale. We're being asked, if the system stopped telling you who you were, would you still know your own name? That's a real question. The psychological task here is to stop looking for permission. Inner authority isn't something you read in a book. It's a muscle you build by making mistakes, by being wrong, and realizing that by doing so, the world does not end. Next, we're approaching February 2026, which I call the 0 point. That's when Saturn conjunct Neptune in Aries. If 2026 were a movie, this is the scene where the music stops. Saturn, the harsh reality, and Neptune, the ethereal dream, are meeting at 0 degrees in Aries. This is the literal Big Bang point of the zodiac. It is the dissolution of an old dream and the painful, wet, screaming birth of a new one. Because this is in Aries, it's about the self. You're going to find that the roles you played just to belong have stopped working. You can't claim to be a spiritual person while acting like a shark at work. Neptune is dissolving the barrier between who you say you are and what you actually do. It's going to feel uncomfortably exposing, like being naked in a fluorescent lit room. Your psychological task here, accept the I don't know. Grief is part of this process. You are shedding a version of yourself that was borrowed, and that loss is real. Don't rush to fill the void with a new mask. Sit in the quiet. Next, we have April. I call that the cognitive whiplash. That's when Uranus enters Gemini. Uranus is a planet of lightning, and Gemini is a sign of information. When they merge, reality splits. We're entering an era of narrative warfare. You'll see the same video and hear 3 different quote-unquote truths about it. Communication is going to move faster than the human heart can process, leading to a collective state of system overload. That psychological task? Slowness. If you react instantly, you've already lost your power. Learn to feel how information registers in your body before your mind grabs a side. Being informed is a trap. Being integrated is the goal. Now, mid to late 2026, this is the release. That's when Jupiter in Leo and the nodal shift. Finally, the universe throws us a bone. Jupiter in Leo is a firecracker of joy. It's a reminder that play and creativity aren't extra things we do when we have time. They are the fuel for our survival. That psychological task: audit your performance. Leo energy loves an audience, but the North Node moving into Aquarius is whispering, do it for the soul, not for the like button. Where's your self-expression just a hollow performance for validation? Break the mirror and start creating for the sake of the creation. Now, I want you to listen for your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus to see which room of your life is being renovated this year. Aries, the first house is being renovated for you. That's the house of the self. Friend, you are the ground zero for this year. The 0 degree in Aries conjunction is a total reboot of your personality. Your focus here: stop fighting everyone else and start leading yourself. Your old warrior persona is dead. Your wise architect is being born. Taurus, your 12th house is being renovated. That is the subconscious. You're doing the heavy lifting in the dark. You're clearing out ancestral ghosts and psychological patterns you didn't even know were yours. Your focus this year: radical rest. Your value isn't tied to your productivity this year. Gemini, your first house is also being renovated. That is the house of your mind. Uranus is moving into your house. Your brain is a supercomputer with a virus. Your focus this year: discernment. You don't have to have an opinion on everything. Silence is your best friend. Cancer, your 10th house is being renovated. That is the house of your public legacy. Your public face is changing. You might realize your goals for your career were actually your parents' goals. Your focus this year: authentic ambition. Build something that makes you proud, not the neighbors. Leo, your 1st and your 11th house is being shifted this year. You're moving from look at me to look at us. You're finding your true tribe. Your focus this year: collaborative joy. Your light shines brighter when it's lighting the way for others. Virgo, your 8th house is being renovated. That is the house of intimacy and power. You're looking at the taboo stuff: money, sex, and death. Your focus this year: trust. Can you be whole without being in total control? Vulnerability is your new superpower. Libra, your 7th house is being renovated this year. That is the house of partnerships. This year is a total audit of your we. The 0 degree in Aries conjunction is opposite you, forcing you to see where you've compromised your soul for the sake of quote unquote peace. Your focus this year: sovereign connection. Stop people pleasing and start truth telling. Scorpio, your house that's being renovated is the 6th house of health and service. That is telling you that your daily grind and your daily life is being disrupted. The hustle is no longer sustainable. Your focus this year: embodied integrity. Listen to what your body is screaming. If it's not a total and complete hell yes, it is a physical hell no. Sagittarius, your 5th house is being renovated. That is the house of creativity and joy. You're fighting for your right to play. You're clearing out the shoulds around your pleasure. Your focus this year: purposeful play. Create something that scares you a little bit. Capricorn, your 4th house is being renovated. That is the house of your roots, foundation, and home. Your sense of security is shifting. You're realizing that 4 walls don't make a home. Integrity does. Your focus this year: inner sanctuary. Be the parent to yourself that you always wanted. Aquarius, your 1st house is being renovated. That is the house of you as an individual. Pluto is making you the face of the future, my love. You're mutating into a more honest version of yourself. Your focus this year, radical authenticity. If you don't feel like an alien, you aren't trying hard enough. And Pisces, your second house is being renovated this year. That is the house of values and worth. Your ruler, which is Neptune, is meeting Saturn in your house of money and worth. Your focus this year, self-reliance. You're learning that your value is inherent, not something you have to earn or manifest. Just be who you are. Now, here is your 2026 practical survival kit. Number 1, build tolerance for uncertainty. The people who will crumble are the ones who need to be right. Practice saying, I don't know yet. It's an act of psychological maturity. Number 2, pause before reacting. Reaction is fear. Response is power. That 2-second gap between seeing a headline and typing a comment is where your soul lives. Number 3, audit your tribe. Letting go of borrowed beliefs often means letting go of certain groups of people. That grief is real, trust me. But let it happen. The freedom on the other side is worth the loss of the false belonging. And number 4, practice internal authority daily. Ask yourself in small moments, do I actually want this coffee, or do I think I should want it because it's 9 a.m.? These small choices are the training for the big shifts. 2026, the year the map caught fire. We're crossing a threshold where performance dies and integrity begins. It's not a crisis, it's a homecoming. As the outer experts fail, your inner authority is being forged in the fire. Trade your certainty for your wholeness. The revolution starts within.